speaking of bad act, here's the perfect transition. Thank you for rambling on, rambling Ricky last. Because you bad acting as a transition to the next segment. TV time with the learning tree. And remember, Big Bill, we said, wow, not only is his work looking better, but his promos for a few weeks there with Ricky Starks, with his promos, he's standing up for himself. He's showing some, well, now he's back down in the shitter. Because he's doing the same, you know, not as far over the top, but the same kind of disingenuous promo as Jericho. He's Jericho's flunky. He introduces Jericho. He has to act like Jericho's teaching him something. So he's fucking, might as well call time of death on this meaningful career.
At least he has a new nickname.
Large William.
They call him the Redwood.
Oh, Jericho's done that for a couple of weeks, but I saw on the internet somewhere, I was reading a recap or something. They said, well, there was Large William. That's what he ought to call him. And then Jericho comes in and sells his T-shirt and tells the people in Iowa how to grow corn. And I'm not even kidding. And the people are just staring, either dumbfounded or slightly irritated that this is happening at this point when it might have been enjoying themselves otherwise. And then Jericho brings out Private Party and they come dancing down the ramp like a bunch of goddamn space alien epileptics to no reaction whatsoever. I would have been embarrassed to be doing those back bend hops like that one guy was doing, where he looked like he was sticking his own head up his own ass, and the people were just like, who the fuck are these guys? You think maybe they're on the corn liquor rather than the corn out in Iowa?
Private Party have been there since the beginning, too. It's not like they keep getting treated like there's some young new tag team that have just come in. They've been there since the very beginning.
This is the beginning in Iowa, and it may be the end, because they're debuting their swan song. They got no reaction, and then Jericho told them their training was rotten. They got bad basics. I was trained by Stu Hart in Calgary, and I know how to do this. And then Private Party asked Jericho, well, why don't you teach us? You're the Caitlin Clark of AEW. And Jericho then shows them how Owen Hart taught him to climb the top rope. And he climbs up to the top rope so that they can knock him off the top rope. And then they shit-can Brian Keith, who's been standing in the ring there with him. And then they top rope Big Bill, and they dive on both of them. And while they do that, Jericho is flat on his back in the ring, and you see him, he's on camera. They're not even smart enough to cut away from this. He sees where the guy's climbing to the top rope, and he's squirming on his back into the right position, and he's holding his arms up like he's so scared he's going to be squashed. It's like Refrigerator Jax is about to come off the ropes on him. He's fucking scared to death. And the guy comes off with a swanton and goes right over the top of him, never fucking touched him. Busted his ass straight on the fucking mat on the other side. And then the other Private Party, number 2 Private Party, did a backflip splash off the top of the top rope on him, and that one did look fairly firm. And then they just left. So what is he? He's got 8.5 years left on that 10-year contract. Everybody in the company gets to beat him up. What is it now? What the fuck's going on here?
I don't know. When he took that bump on the top rope, on the top turnbuckle, on the whatever you would call that.
Yes,
stuff.
the top turnbuckle there.
Oh, man. That was pretty rough. I was like, man, I didn't think they were going to do that in this segment, which is a terrible segment. This Jericho stuff's awful. He thinks it's good. He thinks he's leaning into what everyone thinks about him. He doesn't realize he's adding a new dimension into what we all think about him, not leaning into it. Not good. Not good at all.
Whew.